Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about Crown of Feathers by Nicki Pau Preto. So Crown of Feathers is a new YA fantasy novel in which we follow three different protagonists. First of all, we follow Veronica, who's a 16-year-old girl who is orphaned along with her sister as she hunts to become and join the Phoenix Riders, which are like a mythical, magical warrior race. We also follow Tristan, who happens to be a Phoenix Rider in training, as he goes through all the trials and tribulations of kind of rising the ranks of the Phoenix Riders and trying to please his father. And finally, we follow a character called Sev, who is also a war orphan who happens to be an animage. This video will contain a non-spoiler and a spoiler section, so if you haven't read the book and you'd like to catch up, you can go and do that before coming back. A non-spoiler thoughts on Crown of Feathers was there is a lot of info dumping in this book. There is a whole character, the whole character of Sev, or Sevro, which was wild to me because the only other Sevro I know is from Red Rising, and that's just, therefore I couldn't connect with him, but also you could cut out his entire point of view and lose absolutely nothing. There was like a little moment, which I'll get to in the spoiler section, that kind of like tied him in with the other characters, but for the most part I was kind of like, he's kind of pointless and I hate him. I really enjoyed the final plot twist in this book. I thought the history and the world building was really cool and kind of like the past of the book as opposed to like the present that we're currently going through. I really enjoyed, yeah, like the deep history of it and kind of the plot twist at the end, which I'm still interested to see. I have questions about that. There was no romance in this book. There were like hints of romance and like moments of potential romances, but didn't actually turn into romance on page. That being said, there was a potential male-male relationship for potential, and there was also this weird sort of like Mulan vibe in which Veronica has to pretend she's a boy so she can get into the Phoenix Riders, because for some reason the Phoenix Riders are only taking men at the moment. And then there's, you know, that weird Mulan romance of like, oh, I like this man, but then, oh, this man is a woman and how do I feel? Bisexual icon. So there was like a moment of that, but it wasn't enough to turn it to a romance. There were like a few moments in there that alluded to more feelings, which I would have been all for, but alas, they were busy with saving their kingdom, which, look, is fine in the grand scheme of things. I finished it. It was a thick read. It was like a heavy, I had to like actually sit down and really dedicate my time to it because it was just so info dumpy, and I definitely found myself skimming parts of like the history that I was like, I feel like I don't need to know this. Anyway, that's my non-spoiler thoughts for Crown of Feathers. If you want to stick around for my spoilery thoughts, feel free. Otherwise, I'll see you later. Spoiler section. I really liked but I'm confused by the plot twist at the end where Val was actually the long dead feather crowned queen or something like that. After she killed her sister, Feronia was pregnant with Veronica, and then Val was also resurrected or something weird like that. I don't know, like I'm not super sure. I liked the history more than I liked the current events. Tristan didn't really do anything for me. Like at the start, the thing I did like about Tristan is he turned really quickly. Like he put on that like front of like, oh, I'm so manly and trying to like impress my dad and, you know, do everything the hard, manly, steely way. And then Veronica as Nick is like, maybe you could just like, I don't know, try being nice to the animals. And he was like, yeah, that's a good idea. And then he did, and I was like, okay, well, I appreciate that it wasn't like enemies to lovers or anything like that, but there was, you know, that tension at the beginning, but he warmed really quickly, and I appreciate a man that can admit when he's wrong. That being said, I would have still have liked to see him like make a move on Nick, or Veronica as Nick, and then make a move on Veronica, but that's just because I'm over here being bisexual trash. Same with Cade and Sev. Like I didn't really care about their story in general. The only thing that I think Sev was important for, when he finally got to Veronica and then he was like, oh, by the way, I met your grandma. She's alive. Oh my god, is she really? Well, actually she's dead now, but she's been alive for like 5 years. And I was like, so yeah, I found his story super useless and we didn't need it, except for like those weird like gay sort of vibes that we were getting from that moment between Cade and Sev where they almost kissed and then they didn't because, oh, a siren in the distance. I like the animal magic in the book, or the animages as they're called, but that that scene where Val just straight up kills Zafira, I was like, well, I'm done. I was so close to DNFing the book then. Like animal pain, cruelty, death is a real hard sell for me, you know, but then like there's like this weird line between like if the animal is a main character or a companion of the main character and I'm invested in it and something happens to it where it's injured or killed or tormented, then I'm automatically going to be less inclined to want to read the book. But you know, throughout this book obviously there were lots of other animals that, you know, sacrificed themselves and died, and they were like, you know, cattle or llamas or something like that, and because they're not characters I don't form that emotional attachment to them, but it's still, if it's graphic, it still hurts and I don't want to read it. But if it's like glorified, or if it's the main character's companion or something and something really fucked up happens, I'm generally like, peace out, no thank you. I was, yeah, straight up interested about Zafira dying, and I was interested to kind of see where that would go, because obviously at the beginning you're like, oh great, she's got this phoenix, and then you're like, oh fuck, the phoenix is dead, and you're like, well now what? So that was interesting. It was interesting. I have this theory that you know, the 3 female phoenixes, or the 2 other female phoenixes, one of them died, the other one disappeared. I'm pretty sure that's Val as the queen's phoenix. Does that make sense? Like it's alluded to it in there as well, but that's my theory. I'm running with it. Yeah, apart from that, like the big bad at the end with like the army invading, there was never like, yeah, there were signs of it when you think about like 7, that being in the army that was on its way up the hill to find the Phoenix Riders, but it was also kind of like it came out of nowhere. So I wasn't super into it, and I'm pretty sure I skimmed through most of those like last couple pages of like the fighting and everything like that. I was like, cool, cool, cool. Overall, like I didn't hate it. I would have liked it more, you know, without Seth, without the info dumping, but I get it, it's the first book, so it needs a bit of info dumping, but like maybe a more strategical info dumping next time. Will I read the second book? Is there gonna be a second book? I think so. I actually don't know. That's how I felt about Crown of Feathers. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I will see you next time. Bye!